Welcome back to the show. We're here with Larry Meli, president of the Delaware Blue Coats. Larry, welcome to the show, man. So glad that you're out here joining us here at Stockton University for our big show. I got to know you a little bit through your brother John. Interesting character. That's for another show. That's for another show, another time. But let's get to know, before we dive into the Blue Coats, a little bit about your, history with what you're doing, marketing, basketball, and being able to do something like this. I know it's got to have its moments, but to be able to do something like this for a living.
Definitely. Dream come true, for sure. I grew up in Media, Pennsylvania, moved to South Jersey back in 2000, started my career, with the Philadelphia Eagles in the mid-90s. In fact, the week that I started, Jeffrey Lurie had purchased the team. So, here's a local kid that is, rooted for all these teams growing up, and had the chance to work and start and cut my teeth with the Eagles was certainly a dream come true. And once Comcast purchased the 76ers and Flyers, ended up working for the Flyers, launching their minor league hockey team, the Philadelphia Phantoms, if you've heard of them. So started my career there, and then the opportunity came up with the Sixers, and I've been in different roles with them through the last 27 years.
With the Sixers.
With the Sixers, leading to where I am now as president of the Blue Coats.
So, Larry, when you say that again, I sit here smiling. I see it on your face. I know there had to be hectic, crazy times when you're, just working behind the scenes and everybody sees the finished product, so to speak. Just, again, you touched on it, but it had to be like with your buddies. And when you said that, it kind of hit me like Vince Papale, like when he's, he's in the bar at Invincible and he gets to talk to his buds. I mean, what was that like? Like you said, you're a kid, you're there, you're watching these guys, and I don't want to say they're your idols, but it's pretty cool. You're following them, you got their cards or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. Again, just going into that as a guy trying to keep, because I would have had a hard time doing it because, listen, at that time, we had season tickets to the Eagles. We shared them, a bunch of guys, and we would literally have to tape the games to watch them on Monday because we were a wreck. Having a good time, working, how did you have that restraint, man? I mean...
Yeah, it's funny, like the fandom part,
right,
you kind of have to put that aside a little bit, but you can channel that passion into your job. But yeah, for the, chasing players down for autographs, like at some point you got to check that once you get into the industry and be a professional, really. But to think that kid growing up being Philly through and through and all of his teams, I ended up working almost for all four teams. I mean, it was really a dream come true, and knowing, the tough thing sometimes about our business is that we work on the weekends. Mm. So I get calls from my buddies like, "Hey, you want to come out? We're at the bar, or whatever." And I'm like, "No, I'm starting like the second shift here, and we have a game that night." So there were some sacrifices that had to be made, but certainly because I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I was going to touch on a little bit, because I'm sure there was a lot of times, whether you're a family man and or you weren't, that whether it was different shifts or holidays that you're away, you're traveling, that sort of thing. So very cool. I like it. I kick myself in the what sometimes for not going in that route, but what, life is life. The Blue Coats. Tell us about the Blue Coats. I mean, we've been hearing about it. G League. I want to say, how many years now? That has been in existence, and then talk to us about Delaware.
Yeah. So think about minor league baseball. It's been around for 100+ years. Minor league basketball hasn't been affiliated with the NBA. It's only been around for maybe 25+ years. So we were a little late, to the game in getting that established. But when we first started in Delaware, it was 2013, there was only 14 teams that had a G League affiliate. Fast forward to this year, all 30 teams have, 31 teams have a G League affiliate. And it's a very big part of the player development for the NBA.
Yeah. And when you talk about player development, we talked about this a little on our radio show, and I was so glad to have you there as well. The player development, I mean, we're talking one and done now. I mean, for the folks at home, one and done, they go to freshman and then they're done. Money, right? I mean, talk about that, because you're taking a kid maybe he's not going to be a first-round draft choice or maybe even second. I don't even know how many they have now, and you're going to tell us. But, the instruction when they come out of these high schools or these AAU teams or whatnot, what is that like, and what is the Blue Coats and the Sixers providing for these young men?
Yeah, it's a critical piece of player development, right? You draft guys that sometimes it might be a first rounder, but for the most part, I pay attention to the second round because I know those are guys that are probably going to come to Delaware, and they just need more development because they come out so young, Mike. And so we help them really become a professional, work on their game. They get professional coaches that help them grow. And, our job on the basketball side is to develop, players that can hopefully someday help the 76ers. And we've seen that, this year. The Sixers were decimated with injuries, and many of the Blue Coats were up even just to help round out a practice, right? Because the guys were hurt. And guys like Ricky Council, Justin Edwards, were kind of critical parts now of the Sixers rotation, but they cut their teeth in Delaware.
And when you say that again, you touching on them coming up to the big, to the show, so to speak. I know we're not talking baseball, but with them being in the Blue Coat, the 76ers organization, how frequent is it when you lose somebody like that? I mean, the time invested, or these, what I'm trying to say, Larry, do they have contracts with you as well? Or is that, if somebody offers them something, hey man, go ahead and go do it?
Yeah, for the most part, they're free agents.
Okay.
Right, so any team, any NBA team could come in and take a player at any point during the year. We have 3 players that are basically two-way players. So they go back and forth between the Sixers and the Blue Coats. They only have a certain amount of time, though, that they could be up with the Sixers.
Is it still 11? Back in the day, it used to be.
No, so it's I think it's close to 90 days. And
Okay.
that includes practice as well. So once that time is up, they have to be back in Delaware. But then, you got guys that get assigned to Delaware as well that are NBA players that maybe not getting a lot of time with the big team, but they want to come down and play and get some reps in. That happens as well. So you got guys that are just kind of on the team that are trying to make their way and pursue that dream. And then you have other guys that are part of the Sixers organization that go back and forth.
Right. Yeah. And with the Blue Coats, some success. I know the season has just recently gotten over as we taped this show. But, talk about some of that success and the accessibility of our viewers and folks to go out and see them.
I never thought winning mattered on the minor league side.
Right.
But it does. It matters on any level.
Yeah.
So you have to walk that line of development and winning. And for the past 4 years, we've been to the G League Finals 3 times, won it 2 years ago. So we were in the playoffs 4 years in a row. This is the first year in 4 that we didn't make it. So it's a little bit different. Wait, what happened here? Right. But I don't, to your point earlier, I don't know how you coach at this level, knowing that players can be taken at any moment.
Right.
So it's a challenge, but we have some amazing coaches, and we work closely with the Sixers basketball people to make sure that we have a team that we can field to.
Right, and when you say development, I mean, and you touched on winning, it sounds weird probably to some of our viewers, but I get it. You're saying we want to develop, but winning is part of that development, right? When you learn, guys walk a little bit different, and gals, whatever sport it may be, when you're not cocky but confident.
Right, and not only for the team, but just the community. It's it's a sense of civic pride. Hey,
no
our
question.
Our team is winning, right? There's only 60 teams in the part of the NBA that have 60 cities that are part of the NBA franchise, right? The G League, the W, and the NBA. And Wilmington, Delaware, which I think is a regional team, is part of that. So
that's awesome. I love that. And we just talked about the recent call-ups. I mean, one of your recent call-ups, and then we'll touch real quick on him, was Mac. Back a few years ago. Yes. I mean, talk about that. He took the world by storm, still is when it comes to slam dunk. Talented basketball player. Talk about that experience for a little bit.
It was incredible because normally we don't have household names running up and down our court, right? These are guys that played high-level Division I, but many people don't know who they are. And Mac McClung was this YouTube sensation, great talent. With us, he led us to our first championship. But then he also has like these incredible ups. Like he can dunk like no one you've seen. And when he won his first dunk championship, was on the Blue Coats. And it was like our marketing plan. I didn't, just roll out Mac McClung and people were showing up to see what he was all about. And so it was a really cool
And he takes
time.
the NBA, the All-Star weekend, and they're like, who's this guy? And he's just like putting it up, and it was crazy.
He's won 3 dunk contests in
The
a
NBA,
row.
right.
So
That's great.
It's great for him. And he's actually in the Orlando Magic program, so he's helping them down there now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Again, that's what caught my eye to the G League. Actually, it was him. Not that I didn't know it existed. Fan experience when they go out to one of your games. Talk about that.
So we have this incredible product on the floor, but like I said, not necessarily you got Joel Embiid or Tyrese Maxey running on the floor. So we also build the experience around it. So when you come to a game, it's focused on families. So we have, for some games, a length of the court, kids zone with inflatables, face painters, balloon artists, all of that. And basically they help, it's like going to the beach here in Atlantic City. Parents can sit back, enjoy the game, and their kids are over there having fun.
Yeah, having a blast.
Yeah.
And that really is, when you talk about that, I remember back the Atlantic City Surf baseball. It was independent league, wasn't affiliated. I think that was kind of the problem. But it was just such a great time, whether it was hot dogs being shot out or whatever it may be. It's that experience.
Right.
And you're watching good basketball with you guys as well, with the Blue Coats.
Yeah, and look, people come to games because it's a destination, right?
Right.
You want to have pretty cool food, and you want to have an experience from driveway to driveway where it's seamless for our fans. They're enjoying great basketball, but they're also having a good time. Like we all remember, like our first memory of going to a sporting event. And for some of these kids, it might be the Blue Coats. That'll be the first game that they ever see.
Right.
So we want to make sure it's one they don't forget.
That's great that that's thought out, and that's kind of the behind the scenes what you guys and gals do. The Chase, the field house. Talk to us about that.
Yeah.
I mean, multi-purpose.
Right. It's I think the building you play in is part of your culture, and we end up playing in an arena that's one of the best in the league. It's also a youth sports complex. So within that whole complex, 160,000 square feet, there's this arena. So we have 2 million people coming through that building every year, and we're part of it. So it's a chance for engaged kids, which is a big part of the community work that we do. And obviously they can come and see some great basketball and work out and have fun.
That's a great time. Hey, folks, stick around. We're talking with Larry Meli. We'll be right back. And little birds are chirping. There may be something happening in the local area. But also I want to let you know that you, too, could go check the Blue Coats out. It's not that far of a trip. We'll be right back.